Princess Leonor's first drive, a quiet morning at the palace grounds. Sunlight glints across polished stone and manicured hedges. Engines are not yet heard, but a presence moves with deliberate intent. This is not mere practice. It is rehearsal for visibility, for the projection of responsibility before it is fully assumed. Every turn, every brake, every glance forward is observed, catalogued, measured. Even the act of starting the engine becomes a statement: the future is approaching, and it will be deliberate. For Princess Leonor, the first drive is not about freedom. It is about learning to be seen without error. Learning how independence must align with expectation. Because in a monarchy, independence is never absolute, it is an instrument of continuity. The car moves slowly at first, a controlled arc along the driveway. The palace is silent but not empty. Every observer understands the lesson: visibility carries weight. This is the living thread of continuity. By minute 2, the scene reframes understanding. A simple drive becomes a measure of readiness. What might look like leisure, even vanity, is in truth the first public rehearsal of authority. Observers in Washington note posture and confidence. London interprets restraint and measured action as evidence of inherited discipline. Ottawa and Canberra recognize the subtle demonstration of control. Berlin notes the precision, the careful balance of autonomy and oversight. Not just a phrase, but a signal. Every wheel turned, every glance measured, reinforces the institutional axis: the crown's future is being prepared in public, even before formal assumption. There is tension in restraint, a quiet gravity. Every action is a symbol, and symbols, once released, do not return unchanged. By minute 8, the deeper mystery emerges. Some steps remain deliberately unspoken. Which lessons are taught openly? Which are embedded in silence? Which are absorbed, unseen, by the observer and by the participant alike? By the 10th minute, escalation is subtle but unmistakable. The princess approaches curves with precision, yet every observer senses the weight of precedent, the stakes of expectation. The act of movement itself teeters on symbolic consequence. At minute 14, the point of no return is clear. A miscalculation here would be more than a slip, it would be a breach in the choreography of future authority. Every glance outward, every controlled maneuver, carries the weight of monarchy. By minute 19, future threats loom quietly. Not physical, but interpretive. How will the public read competence? How will foreign capitals interpret this first act of autonomy? The United States sees stability. The United Kingdom notes the preservation of protocol. Canada and Australia perceive continuity rehearsed. Germany considers the discipline, learned through centuries, that keeps institution above personality. And in the final moment, the words return, precise, deliberate, unmistakable. The car stops. The engine silences. The eyes that watched remain alert. The lesson lingers. The first drive is not the first freedom. It is the first assertion that visibility itself is part of duty. And the story has only begun. The engine idles quietly now. Not yet off, but paused, as if the machine itself knows it is carrying more than weight. This is not speed, not thrill. It is protocol rendered in motion. For Princess Leonor, every pedal pressed is a rehearsal in responsibility. Every turn of the wheel a rehearsal in foresight. Because in a monarchy, the public eye transforms the ordinary into precedent. What seems small, a lane change, a glance in the mirror, carries centuries of expectation. Distance from error is the first lesson. Control over perception is the second. And by minute 3, observers begin to sense the subtle choreography of authority. This is the living thread of continuity, threaded through the youngest heir, through the act of driving itself. Foreign capitals watch quietly. In Washington, confidence here is read as the embodiment of stability. London observes the interplay of autonomy and oversight, recognizing discipline forged by history. Ottawa and Canberra note the rhythm, the patience, the controlled demonstration of readiness. Berlin perceives a young sovereign learning restraint without instruction, a proof of inherited continuity. By minute 5, the phrase returns, precise, resonant. Not for ceremony, not for spectacle. For preparation. Each measured movement reinforces the invisible scaffold that will support the crown in years to come. The bridge between adolescence and institution is crossed here, silently, deliberately, under the scrutiny of expectation. By minute 8, something deeper emerges. A question unspoken, but present: how much independence can be granted before it challenges the choreography of monarchy? What lessons must remain concealed to preserve interpretation? What freedoms can be visible without risk? The midpoint approaches. Minute 10. The strain is quiet, yet undeniable. The weight of symbols, of history, of a public watching every motion, presses upon a young driver. Every choice becomes a signal. Every hesitation an echo. Every correction a lesson in governance. By minute 14, the point of no return asserts itself. Autonomy, however rehearsed, is no longer private. Visibility is now authority, and every observer, at home and abroad, will record, interpret, and project the meaning of these first steps forward. Minute 19 brings a foreshadowing. What will the public learn from proficiency? What will allies infer from restraint? And what will the Crown need to correct before the first formal responsibility? The United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany, each nation sees reflection of institutional credibility in a teenager's hands. And finally, the words return, quiet, deliberate, and resonant. The drive ends, but the journey has begun. The Crown watches, the institution endures, and the story continues, unwritten, waiting for the next turn.